Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. So these are some of the tips and tricks we use to keep costs down or save money on clothing. And as we know, clothing can be pretty expensive, especially if you have growing kids, growing out of clothes probably every day of the week. But these are some of the things we use to help keep costs down on clothing. So the first thing is we have 3 categories of clothing. Basically, one we would wear around the house or to play in if you're going to play outside. If I go in garden, things we would just wear around the house, not necessarily out anywhere. These are typically clothes that are faded, have a hole in them, just coming to the end of their life cycle. So the next category of clothing is for errands or going to school. And these clothes would be obviously better than something we would just bum around the house in or play in. They don't have any holes in it. They're not faded. They're not ripped or anything like that. They're really in good repair, so to speak. And the last category of clothing we have is our Sunday best. And basically it would be for church, weddings, hopefully never a funeral, but funerals. Dressier clothes that we would definitely not bum around or play in or go to school in or do errands in. So that's the last category of clothing we have. The next tip I have for you is don't wash your clothes every single time you wear them. There are exceptions to that, and I'll get to that. But we don't wash our clothes every single time we wear them. Things like jeans, sweaters, some tops, pants, most of our Sunday best clothes, jackets, we don't wash those every single time we wear them. What we do is I've made a laundry refreshing spray, and I take about 1/8 of a teaspoon and about 32 ounces of water, I think the container holds, and I just put it in a spritz bottle and I use it on the clothes that we hang up, that we've worn, and then I would spritz them and then hang them up in my closet away from my clean clothes. So clothes we would not wear again and would go straight into the laundry hamper would be socks, undergarments of any kind, undies, bras, undervests, whatever, and things that are soiled. If they're soiled and you can't put them on again, if they've got mud caked on them, or you went out and played and they're all sweaty and really nasty, then they go right into the hamper. I don't even bother to try and refresh them. But the more you can not wash those clothes, they're going to help your clothes last longer, and they're going to save on other things like water and electric for your washing, and this is going to help your clothes last a lot longer, and then you don't spend as much. So the next trick or hack we use is hand-me-downs. And I'm the second youngest of 11 kids that survived. My parents had 15 kids and 11 survived childbirth. And I'm the second youngest. So there are a whole plethora of people that came before me. So if they want to hand something down to me that's in good repair and we can use it, I'm going to use it. And this can be used for adults or children's clothing. But especially for children's clothing, the way they grow out of it so fast. So the next thing I've used is mom-to-mom groups or mom groups. And they are a great resource, not only for maybe even hand-me-downs, maybe deals that they find online or in stores that of things you might be looking for. They're a great resource for different things that you might be having to deal with on a regular basis that they might have already gone through. Check out your local church, even if you're not a member. They might have a clothes drive for adults, especially for children. I actually went across a sign today that they were giving away clothes for children for free at this particular church in my area. I would usually say hit up your thrift stores, and I've done it in the past. I've hit up some thrift stores, but thrift stores in recent years, in my area anyway, have become just as expensive, sometimes more expensive than the regular stores. And places like Kohl's, if you could hit their clearance aisles, they will give you a coupon. They have deals going on every single month, pretty much, probably every day of the week. And you could probably get some great deals as opposed to going to the thrift store and paying probably about the same for that particular item. So no matter where you're shopping for clothes, think about shopping off-season. And by off-season, I mean right now we're coming out of winter and going into summer, so they're putting all their summer stuff out and they're putting the winter stuff on clearance. Think about getting your clearance winter items for the winter that's coming up. I would say in Kohl's, you can find clearance on just about any season, no matter what time of year it is. But if you're specifically looking for winter stuff for the season coming up, you're going to find a better bargain. Now, they're waiting for winter to come around again. It's going to be kind of a guessing game to know what size you need for the winter coming up. But what I usually do is buy 1 or 2 sizes bigger than what I would typically buy for them in the summer. So if places like Kohl's or JCPenney's are still too expensive for your needs, then try to find places like bargain basement, discount stores, wholesale stores, even the flea market. Now, I was at the flea market this past weekend, and there was a vendor out there that had brand new clearance items from Target, and he was selling them for $3, $4, and $5 a piece, depending on what they were. He had t-shirts, jeans, pants, jackets, slippers, pretty much you name it, he had it. So that is cheaper than even the thrift stores, and it's brand new. Even though it's clearance, this just means they couldn't sell it. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It's just clearance out and they got rid of it for new stock. So we use these fully adjustable belts, and they come in handy if the clothes are a size a little too big for them, and they can adjust as they grow. So they're great for kids' pants. So I really like these pants that have the elastic. Even if they're a little bit too long, they're easy to adjust. In the past, I have actually hemmed the pants, but I find that they grow so fast. I don't even do that anymore. I just roll them up at the bottom, especially if they're a jean or a pant that I could just roll up really quickly. So maternity clothes can be really expensive. If you can find someone possibly in your mom-to-mom group, maybe a cousin that might be pregnant at the same time, or a sister that might be been pregnant just before you, maybe you can share clothes. Maybe if they're not using their pregnancy or maternity clothes at the time that you're pregnant, maybe they could lend you a couple of pieces so you don't have to buy a whole wardrobe. Or if you have a group of you that are all pregnant around the same time, you could share in the expense and maybe rotate through your group of maybe 2 or 3 and use the same rotating garments. So if you have clothes that your kids have grown out of and you have no other use for them, sometimes I hold on to them until I'm absolutely sure I don't need them anymore and they're still in good condition. I would offer them to another mom. Or if you have clothes that you might have maybe not wanted or grown tired of, but it's still good condition, you can always, like I said, offer it to another mom or another person, or even like throw up on Craigslist and get a couple of bucks for them, like maybe a trash bag of clothes for like $10 or whatever, if they're in good condition. Or just donate them to your Goodwill or your St. Vincent de Paul or Salvation Army or whatever thrift store, and give back that way. So here's a closet staples chart I found on pennypincherfashions.com. Now, basically, I agree with this wholeheartedly, except for the leather jacket, which I don't have, the white shorts and jeans, which I don't have, and the leopard flats, which I don't like. But all in all, it's a good start. Now, if you have these in your closet, you can pretty much put anything together and you are pretty much set. What you want to do is have your staples in place and accent with like scarves, and if you like bolder colors, scarves or shades or hats even. But not your staples. Your staples you want neutral, and you can mix your colors in that way. That's going to save you a lot of money than going out and buying a big old bold, say, jacket that you only use for one season and then it's out of style. So if your staple pieces are neutral and classic, and you accentuate them with bolder accents, then that's going to save you a lot of money in the long run on your clothing. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. God bless, and remember, stay safe and keep prepping.